Hello everyone, this is Teri. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Amethystastrotarot. I'm a practicing astrologer and a tarot reader, and this video is the Libra first decan episode of my one decan, one card, and one chart series about the decan walk. And today, what are we going to look at? We have let's see. So when we look at this, we see that in the first decan of Libra, according to the Chaldean order or descending order, as we call it as well, we have the moon as the decan ruler, and according to the triplicity, first sign is Libra. We start from Libra, and the traditional ruler of Libra is Venus. So we have the Venus as the decan co-ruler, we can say, in that sense. And our card, Minor Arcana card, that is associated with this decan is the Two of Swords. This is from the Rider-Waite-Smith um, deck. And our public figure today is Bruce Springsteen, who has Sun in Libra in the first decan, who has Sun in the first decan of Libra. So what do we do? Let's start from the Two of Swords, and we can try to understand how Moon in Libra and Venus in Libra can feel like, and if we can see any traces of those in the Two of Swords. Let's share the Two of Swords card. Here we go. Oh, today again, Zoom is making this some interesting stuff. Okay, the Two of Swords, we have this, and we have by chance also Moon here, all this water scene behind, and this Two of Swords, and someone with the blindfold sitting on a throne. And it's like as if there is this sense of you are trying to understand everything from what you hear. I mean, like, except your vision, you try to in a way, I mean, you try to understand everything that is happening around you without seeing. And I think in that sense, sometimes intuitiveness or that what you feel can go in that sense. I mean, but the interesting is that when we see Libra is a air sign and it's a cardinal sign, and we can think about more think when we think about air signs, we can more think about the like communication thinking. But of course there is always this kind of being the medium, that intermediary, and like trying to that relay the messages. I think the communication also comes from there, and there's I think a level of intuitiveness that could be found in the air signs. Maybe some people may disagree. They may think that that's a water thing, but I think that there could be that kind of that coming through that intermediary role. I think air signs could have that. In any case, Libra. When we think about Libra, Libra is really negotiating. I mean, for negotiating, for keeping the balance, harmony, and everything there, no, as a sign. And when we think of Moon in Libra, what do we need? How do we feel secure? How do we feel safe? When we have, I think, in the environment, like we have that kind of sense of peace, etc. We have say so it can um, make us, I mean, like maybe creating the safe space for us, being more diplomatic. Of course, I mean, in case of Libra, is like making some compromises and sometimes putting the other people or taking care of the other people more than ourselves. I mean, it could be the case, but of course, I mean, Venus in Libra also, that it's like approaching, relating, and valuing things with a um, more at an sometimes aesthetic level. Sometimes it's like more like there is kind of sense of the touch, the artistic touch there, that the way that maybe we relate to the people, and the way that the things carry values for us. But when we are looking at this card, and that's interesting. I mean, like I mean, like swords. When we think about the sword, and we have this thing, actually, it's like the tips um, showing the top. I mean, upwards. They are upwards, and when they are upwards, we can think about that. There's still kind of positive thinking, but they're on the other side. In some of the decks, you can see a like a duel, etc. So there is kind of um, conflict of ideas. There is a kind of eh, sometimes maybe not being able to decide, because there is this indecisiveness, and in that sense maybe we need to tap into our heart, etc., feelings, to solve a more mental problem. I think maybe that not mental problem in the sense that, I mean, like there is something that is that if there's a clash of ideas, maybe for that, to be able to solve that clash of ideas, to bring that peace, etc., maybe we may need to tap into our intuitive power as well. I think it could be like that in moon in Libra, in this context, when we are looking at that. And also, I mean, it can help us to when we are thinking about Venus in Libra, like also creating that much balanced or much peaceful relationship with the other people. And I think in that sense, it's like, I think that sometimes we see the blindfold, of course, with the justice. I mean, like, so when we are thinking about the justice and everything, which Libra can be also associated with the contracts and with the law and the courts, etc., sometimes. And when we are thinking about all these and the blindfold, it's like being impartial, right? When we are feeling I mean, feeling, it's sometimes hard to control, but trying to find that maybe safety, and trying to create those relationships through impartiality, I think could be another message. Of course, as I always say, I mean, depending on the context, depending on the question, depending on the querent and the surrounding cards, etc., always we may get other messages through the cards. So this was the Two of Swords. Oh, I put the camera in a strange way. And now we can look at the chart of Bruce Springsteen, and let's see. This is not an ad. I just am sometimes can be lazy, so I just pull the charts from Astrodeans, which is astro.com, and this is the chart according to equal house. So Bruce Springsteen, happy belated birthday, was born on 23rd of September 1949 in Long Branch, New Jersey, United States, and that puts his sun in Libra. It's actually just at the start of um, uh, the sign. It's 0 degrees 43 minutes. Just, I think, if one day before, of course, he would have been a Virgo sun like myself. And we can see that, of course, it's not only the Libra, we also that he is from the generation of Neptune in Libra as well. And also he has Mercury in Libra, which is retrograde, and Moon in Libra, and Venus in Scorpio, in the second decan of Scorpio. He has the Venus. I also have Venus in Scorpio. So when we are looking at the um, Sun in Libra, I think that is, first of all, I mean, when we think about the Sun in Libra, I mean, that it is of course in fall, because Sun is exalted in the sign of Aries, where its maximum expression in Sun in Libra. I think it's more related with the turn of the also the seasons, etc. It's not like, no, like the spring is coming, etc. It's not like the sun is coming out here. The sun is actually more disappearing from the skies. I mean, like how we experience it after the, especially the autumnal equinox, at least in northern hemisphere. So it's like, in that sense, I mean, because sun is like, that's mighty shining, and sometimes I'm thinking that it's like the Libra being more inclined to please the other people's needs, etc. as well. Maybe sun cannot perform in the best way possible, because there is something like, the mighty, the being the source and the center, maybe putting other people in the scene could not be the best place of expression for sun. That, having said that, so Sun in Libra, at the end of the day, there is something for in the identity. What is how you express yourself? How is your identity? How is your conscious expression? When we are thinking about that, we can see all these piece, all these aesthetic, artistic approach, and there is this all this diplomacy and also negotiation power, and also, I mean, like that, as I said, that compromising could be included. The sun in Libra, especially looking at the fourth house in his family life or in his connection with the past, the history, and maybe the tribe and everything, I think could be a part of how he's where he's shining. It's like, I think the home, the house, the where at least he feels at home could be the place that his sun shines the best. And when we bring the moon in Libra and Venus in Libra into this stage, we can always think about like that, also in this expression, in this identity, the sense of security and also the relating to other people are also all expressed, could be, I mean, might be expressed in this balanced way. Of course, there could be some parts of indecisiveness, etc., but in general, we could see this harmonious existence in a way. No, the essence is harmony, and making sure that in a way everyone is content, if it's possible or not, but everyone is content. And in any case, to see that moon in Libra is there in Mercury in Libra, it's like always to create this uh, peaceful environment. And I think um, when we look at some of the lyrics and the way that he talks about mundane stuff, also we can see that always that he tries to look at the two sides of the coins, right, and try to make sure that everyone's I mean, maybe I mean, like at the end of the day, it's like being just for everyone. Yeah, I think could be very important in that sense. But the interesting thing all over this, actually, he was born during a new moon, and that all this Libra placement, we see the Venus in Scorpio as the dispositor, and Venus in Scorpio, Venus, the way the value, there's this quite attachment, right? And when it comes to values and relationships, and there is this deep connection, creating this deep connection, and being very intuitive, but at the same time being also very emotional. And sometimes, I mean, that create to be able to create those connections, that really tight connections, maybe being vulnerable at some stages as well. And this has all impact again on this identity, the way of communication, the sense of security, and even the ideals and dreams that he might be after, or the world that he might be imagining. I think that deep connection, that he um, making, I mean, relating and valuing things in a very with depth. It's like you are going into the depth of the oceans and etc. And also, I think it's very important that it could be the case that you find the kind of the what is hidden in those depths, and then surface them so that you could see the whole picture. You could see, I mean, in the relationships, in the whatever the values, in the art, even to being able to see through, I think could be very important on his identity, and the way that he feels unconscious, conscious, and in the spirit as well. I mean, we can see that, and he has a rising in Gemini, as we can see, which will take us back to Mercury in Libra as well as the chart ruler. And I think Gemini is like really, we can think about as the life approach, as the appearance is like very sociable, very rational, and being able to, I mean, curious, someone very curious about life, about everything, and want to know maybe everything at the same time. I think that would be all I would be telling about Bruce Springsteen's son in terms of the decan rulers of the first decan of Libra, and all his other placements in Libra along with Venus in Scorpio. So I mean, like that would be that. Uh, I think that I'm thinking that he is, of course, 76 years old. I was looking if he would be having any returns or something like that. Doesn't look like at the moment anything going on in terms of big returns. Only, yeah, that will take 7 years or more for the Uranus going into Gemini, but before that, we wish all the best for Bruce Springsteen. I will stop sharing here. I hope that you enjoyed this recording, and hope to see you in the second decan of Libra. I haven't decided which chart, but we know that the Three of Swords will be coming as the associated Minor Arcana card. All the best. Bye bye.